Let's go live. Alright, looks like we're live. Welcome back to Beat 'em Up Joes. I'm Kelly Hampton, and this show is just about what is going to be going on this week on Beat 'em Up Joes. So, I've got a few things in store. Of course, this is E3 week, so we're going to be talking about a lot of things that I want to see at E3 this year, things that I expect to see, things that I really hope to see, and we'll also be talking about new game releases this week and what I'm going to be streaming on Saturday, as there's only one press conference on Saturday early in the day. So I'll be streaming a game this Saturday as well, like I did last week with Resident Evil 2. If you missed that stream, we had a great time. Join us next week. Watch the archive of that Resident Evil 2 stream. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. I'm glad that you're here with me. We're going to get into the news right now. So, the first thing that's going to be going on Beat 'em Up Joes this week is I'm going to be doing a repair video on this guy right here, this original Xbox. And I picked this guy up. I actually got this for free. And it just had a small problem with it. It's a pretty common problem. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix a pretty common problem with the original Xbox, that being that the drive door will not open on that guy. It's a super simple fix, so I'll be showing you guys how to fix that guy up. And this is the first in a series of videos that I'm going to be doing about, keeping your consoles running, because as video game collectors, we collect a lot of older hardware, and the older this stuff gets, the more prone it becomes to one failure or another. So definitely keep an eye out for that. That's the beginning of this series, and we're going to have some fun with that, and I'm going to help you keep your consoles running. Next, on Friday, I will have, hey Cosmo, thank you for joining me, dude. I watched some of your videos last night, and I really enjoyed your Tekken stuff. Really like Tekken, so keep that up, man. I may do some Tekken stuff myself. I hope you'll check that out. But this is just this week on Beat 'em Up Joes, what I'm going to be working with, what videos I'm going to have coming out this week, and what I'm going to be streaming on Saturday. So, this is E3 week. This is the most important thing about this week is going to be E3 2018. Let me get an image up here on the screen. Just kind of a, give me just a moment here, guys. I should have been a little bit more prepared here, but, this is the first time I've done this kind of streams, so we're a little bit rusty here, but we're getting going. Like I said, E3 2018 starts this Saturday, so definitely be here with me Saturday. I believe I'm starting 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I live in Texas, so I run on Central Standard Time here in the U.S. So I believe that show starts at 1 p.m. That is the EA conference, and it's going to be a lot of fun. EA is a big publisher. They've got a lot of big games, and I'm sure they're going to be showing us some really cool stuff. So once again, Saturday begins that E3 conference, and let's take a look at the schedule now, since we're already talking about E3. That's what's on our minds. So let's take a look at this. Let me get an E3 2018 schedule up here. And we'll just kind of talk about, what I would like to see, what I expect to see, and just kind of some predictions and hopes and dreams that will most likely be crushed. Yeah, that was really cool. Cosmo's in here chatting with me. He liked that I commented on one of his Tekken videos. He was playing King, and when he got up to Devil Kazuya, Devil Kazuya was doing that move where he'd fly up in the air and shoot his beam down at the ground, and Cosmo here did a wonderful job of dodging that laser both times he did it in that match, and it was wonderful, sir. That was a great showing of your abilities in Tekken 2. So let me find this schedule here. I've got a nice little schedule up on my screen, and I will share this with you guys as well. So let me get another capture here. We're going to capture display. We're not capturing that display, that's for sure. We're going to go ahead and remove that guy. Sorry about the mirroring there. But I'll just pull this over in front. There's my wife. Everybody say hi to my beautiful wife. She needs a diaper for the children's. But we'll go ahead and just capture this screen because I'm not sure what in the world just happened there. And I will just pull this up in front of us. We got some mirroring effect going on, so that's wonderful. But now you should have this wonderful E3 press conference times table right in front of you, and this is actually just a times table. No, it has some scheduling stuff here, but this isn't really what I'm looking for, so we're gonna go ahead and get off of this. My apologies for not being super prepared for this. So I'm just gonna look for a schedule on my own, and we'll go from there. Bring up our chat once again. One of my favorite moves of all time, because apart from avoiding, it helps deal damage on opponents. And that is rolling back then flip forward. Yes, King has some pretty cool ways of avoiding attacks that will also deal damage. King is definitely one of my favorite characters in the Tekken franchise. He's a cool dude. Not so much in the first games. He kind of, you know, but you know. Alright, so here's our schedule for E3. Like I said, EA starts off the press conferences on Saturday, June 9th. That is this Saturday. Begins at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So let me go ahead and convert that right quick to my time. I believe that was 1 o'clock Central Time. 11 a.m. to CST. Yes, that is 1 p.m. Central Time. So I will be going live 1 p.m. Central Time. I'll probably have a pre-show on that as well. So expect me to go live about noon, actually. So EA, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. It says here, from sports to shooters to more sports. EA will kick us off with an opening presentation from EA Play, the publisher's event in Los Angeles. EA stopped officially participating in E3 a few years ago, but we can expect to see more of Battlefield 5 and an in-depth look at BioWare's Anthem and hopefully some other cool surprises. Now, this is what I am most excited for, especially when it comes to EA. Anthem looks really cool. I'm definitely excited to see more of that guy. It's a really cool looking game. If you have not seen a trailer for that, I had a video not too long ago talking about video games trailers, and Anthem was featured very prominently in that video. So go check out EA's publishing of BioWare's Anthem. We all like BioWare games, and I hope that Anthem will not disappoint. So, moving on Sunday, we have Sunday, June 10th, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, that being 3 o'clock Central Time here in Texas. So I'll probably go live about 2 o'clock for the pre-show on Sunday for the Microsoft conference. Now, this is going to be one of our big three conferences. Microsoft's going to take the stage, and let's read this little blurb that Kotaku has for us about the Microsoft conference. It looks like Team Xbox has moved permanently from its Monday morning slot to Sunday afternoon, which helps spread out the fun. Microsoft has a lot of pressure to compete with Sony's fantastic lineup of exclusives, so this will be one to watch. New Gears of War is a safe bet, but what else does Xbox have to show, and what t-shirts will Phil Spencer be wearing? That's definitely the concern on everybody's mind when it comes to Microsoft and Sony. Sony has always got a lot of great exclusives that they have lined up through their many first, second, and third party channels. So Microsoft has traditionally not been able to keep up with that. So look for Microsoft to have some super exclusives this year. They really need it to kind of keep up in this race between them, Nintendo, and Sony. I look to see Microsoft having a great conference this year. They really need a home run, knock it out of the park conference this year to really get people's attention. I know there's a lot of big Xbox fans out there that are just hungry for something to hang their hat on and say, this is why the Xbox is better. We're always watching these console wars, and I'm not the biggest, oh, this console is better for this reason, and this console is better for this reason, but I definitely keep up with that fight, and I'm excited to see what Microsoft has in store for us this year. What are some of the surprises that they're going to share with us? Like Kotaku said, a new Gears of War is definitely a safe bet. I was talking to a friend of mine just on Saturday during that Resident Evil 2 stream. I think there will definitely be something Halo. Halo is another one of their big tentpole franchises, so definitely expect something to come of that as well. And that's just one of my predictions, of course. I'm not positive that a new Halo will be announced. So next on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, that would be 8:30 Central time here in Texas. So Bethesda will be taking the stage. Bethesda, of course, the folks that do the Fallout series, Elder Scrolls. They manage a lot of id franchises now, being Doom and Wolfenstein. So definitely expect some big things from Bethesda, and especially the recently announced Fallout 76. I watched that teaser trailer last night, and man, did it get me pumped. I am excited for Fallout 76. I'm a little bit worried about the things that people have been saying about Fallout 76. It's kind of got me a little bit worried when people are saying that this may be an online survival game, but I've always loved Fallout. Maybe they'll do it the right way, in a way that I will be excited for it. The Bethesda has also recently announced Rage 2. So I don't remember a lot of people really being into Rage when it originally came out. I know there was some fervor for it before release, but I remember at release not a lot of people were like huge into Rage, but I am hopeful that they can take Rage 2 and just blow it out of the park. So let's see what Kotaku has to say about Bethesda's press conference for E3 2018. This little blurb says, the publisher of Fallout and Doom won't make people stay up all night this time, as it has thankfully moved this year's press conference back a more reasonable hour. Last year started at 9 p.m. Pacific time or midnight Eastern time. Bethesda has already announced Rage 2 and Fallout 76, so we'll definitely see both of those, and it's also safe to expect new Prey stuff and some other surprises. you know, since Bethesda started doing a press conference at E3, their conference has always been pretty big, and it's one that people definitely want to keep an eye out on. I agree with Kotaku on the fact that there is probably going to be some Prey stuff there. This latest Prey game was very big. Hello, beautiful wife down in the chat. Thank you for joining us. So, like I said, definitely expect there to be some Prey stuff there as well. I'm excited to see what is going to be revealed at E3 with Bethesda. I'd really like to see some sort of, you know, small tease about maybe a new Doom. The last Doom that Bethesda published for id Software I thought was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, so I'd like to see some more of that. But moving on, let's see what's going on Monday, June 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That would be noon Central Time here in Texas, of course. So, starting off on Monday, June 11th, is going to be the Square Enix press conference. And Square Enix has always been a huge developer publisher in the video game space, especially as far as RPGs go. So these are going to be the guys that are going to be announcing, not announcing, but they're going to be giving us more on Kingdom Hearts 3, probably some Dragon Quest stuff. I don't follow Dragon Quest too heavily, but there's probably going to be something about Dragon Quest there, possibly a new Tomb Raider, or more about a new Tomb Raider. They've been handling the Tomb Raider franchise, and these last two that were done recently have been fantastic, guys. If you've not played Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider, you definitely owe it to yourself to go check those out. So let's read Kotaku's little blurb about the Square Enix conference for E3 2018. Kotaku says, this one is a pleasant surprise, as Square Enix has not held an E3 conference since 2015, when it announced Nier Automata. That's another game that I still need to check out. I have not played Nier Automata, so I've heard it was a huge game, but I definitely need to check that guy out. The Japanese publisher has a lot to talk about, including Kingdom Hearts 3. I know that's going to be a big one for a lot of people out there. A lot of people are huge fans of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, so that will be definitely one to watch. I expect a release date finally. So next, Dragon Quest 11. Like I said, I don't follow Dragon Quest too heavily, but it seems Dragon Quest 11 was announced at some point. We'll see some more on that. That's another big franchise that comes out of Square Enix. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We still haven't heard much about Final Fantasy VII Remake or the upcoming Avengers game that Square Enix is taking care of. Plus, doesn't it feel like time for Final Fantasy 16? Now, Final Fantasy 15, I really enjoyed in the time that I was playing it. I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed the dynamic between the four brother guys, the four best friends. They had a good time together. I really enjoyed that cover of Stand By Me by Florence and the Machine. I thought it was a fantastic use of the song, and it really got me pumped for the game ahead of me. I had a fantastic time with the game, but when it was all over, I kind of forgot about it. So that's one thing that I will say about Final Fantasy 15. But in the time that I was playing it, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I would love to see the next entry into the Final Fantasy franchise. That would be fantastic. So, you know, Square Enix at E3, I expect to see Kingdom Hearts 3, of course. I expect to see a release date on that finally. They talked about Dragon Quest 11. That's most certainly going to be there. If they're holding another conference this year, they're going to bring the big guns, and Dragon Quest is definitely one of their big guns. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, they're going to be talking about that for sure. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, they really need to get out in front of people to show this guy off some more. Final Fantasy VII, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock, was one of the biggest games in that franchise. Most people will tell you that Final Fantasy VII was their biggest Final Fantasy. So they really need to get out in front of folks about the Final Fantasy VII remake and get people pumped up for that. And I know people are already pumped up about it, but you know, me as someone that didn't really care for Final Fantasy VII, I'm more of a Final Fantasy VI guy. I really like 9 as well. You need to show me why I should be excited about the Final Fantasy VII remake. So I will definitely be there, and Final Fantasy 13 was their fastest selling game. I believe that, Cosmo. I only played very little of Final Fantasy 13. I did not play its sequels, but I hear some good things about that series. I know a guy that Final Fantasy 13 is his favorite Final Fantasy, and I think he's crazy for that, but you know, to each their own. But moving on from Square Enix, that's, you know, what Kotaku had to say about the Square Enix conference. I think they're right on the money. I can't think of anything that I really what else I would expect from Square Enix at E3 this year. Next, we're going to move on to Ubisoft on Monday, June 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So Kotaku says about the Ubisoft conference, the folks behind Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs always put on a good show, stuffing their presser with big announcements and one more thing style surprises. We know we'll see The Division 2, Skull and Bones, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey in ancient Greece. But what other blades do Ubisoft have hidden up their sleeves? And how's Beyond Good and Evil 2 doing these days? You know, as far as Ubisoft goes, the thing that I'm definitely most excited for will be Beyond Good and Evil 2. I really liked Beyond Good and Evil the first time, and that trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2 blew me away. That was a really good looking piece of teaser material. If you have not seen that, definitely go check that out. It is on here on YouTube. Go look that up. It looked really great. But like Kotaku said, I definitely expect to see The Division 2, Skull and Bones, and I don't even know what that is. Maybe I'm just kind of out of the loop here. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Ancient Greece. I've never been a big Assassin's Creed guy, but this series is actually starting to get some more traction behind it. It's always been a big series, but it's kind of fallen off when they started annualizing the game. Now that they've kind of taken a step back and are releasing games every couple years or whatever, this series is really starting to gather more traction. I know the most recent Assassin's Creed, I had a buddy that really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely going to be looking at the next Assassin's Creed as well, see if that might be up my alley. But the thing that I'm most excited for from Ubisoft is definitely going to be Beyond Good and Evil 2. And then the big boy, Sony, Monday, June 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll see what Kotaku has to say first, but they say don't expect any big first-party surprises from PlayStation this time around, as Sony has already promised that its presser will revolve mostly around games Death Stranding, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us Part 2. The publisher, usually known for its shocking E3 reveals, does say that there will be some third-party announcements and indies at the show. Maybe we'll see that From Software game that was teased at the Game Awards last year. Yes, definitely. These are things that I'm definitely going to be excited for. Death Stranding is a game from Kojima, you know, the guy that did the Metal Gear Solid saga. And we've seen a lot of teasers for Death Stranding, and it's gotten us really excited, but we still do not know what this game is. And for myself this year, I want to actually see this game, and I want to know what is going on here. I love Kojima, I love the Metal Gear Solid series, and I'm really excited for Death Stranding, but I don't even know what I'm excited for, because all we've seen are these teaser trailers that look really pretty, and they've kind of screwed with my mind a little bit, but I don't know what this thing is. So I definitely expect this year to see some gameplay and a little bit more explanation behind what this game actually is. This is going to be a big game, guys. Kojima is teaming up with Sony after he left Konami, and you know, this should be a fantastically huge game. Sony also has on the docket their Spider-Man game based on the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. It looks fantastic as well. A lot of jumping around and spinning and flipping and stuff. It looks like a Spider-Man game, and I'm hoping that this one will be really cool. It looks really pretty. The animations are really cool. So I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man game as well. Ghost of Tsushima is a game that when I saw the trailer for this, I was really excited. It looks really cool, but I've kind of forgotten about it, so I'm definitely looking for a refresher this year at E3. And The Last of Us Part 2, guys, I'm super pumped for a new The Last of Us game. The first Last of Us game I really enjoyed. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, and The Last of Us really felt like, you know, this was an homage to the Resident Evil franchise. And, you know, I love Naughty Dog games. I love the Uncharted series, and I thought that The Last of Us was fantastic. That teaser for The Last of Us Part 2 with Ellie with the guitar was really cool. It set really good mood. So I'm really excited about The Last of Us Part 2. I can't wait to see more of that. And Kotaku also said something about something that I am really expecting to see more of this year at E3 2018. This is something that I'm really invested in. From Software, as Kotaku said, at the Game Awards last year, teased something about a new game. It was a very short teaser that had the tagline something to the effect of "Shadows Can't Die" or something like that. So a lot of people expect that to be a Bloodborne sequel, maybe a completely new IP from Software, but I definitely expect it to be very Dark Souls-ish, and I'm really excited for it. This is one of the things that I'm most excited for at E3 2018. I want to know what this new From Software game is. And then last but certainly not least, we have Nintendo on Tuesday, June 12th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And Kotaku has this to say about the Nintendo conference. As always, Nintendo is eschewing the traditional press conference in favor of a Nintendo Direct on Tuesday morning. The highlight will be Smash Bros., along with other games that the publisher plans to bring to the Switch throughout 2018 and beyond. Will we see big third-party ports like Diablo 3, a fresh glimpse of Metroid Prime 4, or maybe this year we may actually get Mother 3. Don't hold your breath, guys. I know a lot of people have really been looking for Mother 3 on a modern console in English language. This is the sequel to Earthbound that we never got over here. This has stayed in Japan the whole time that it has been available on the Game Boy Advance. So at some point I would definitely like to see Mother 3, but I've kind of lost hope that it will actually happen. Excuse me, I've been speaking a lot here and I needed a drink. So also at Nintendo's press conference per se, you know, like they said, Nintendo usually has, you know, a small Nintendo Direct, they call it. It's just a video that you watch about, you know, what do we have coming up. There's definitely going to be a lot of Smash Bros. There. I expect to see a lot of Metroid Prime 4 there. Probably not a lot, but I would like to see some Metroid Prime 4. They announced third-party ports like Diablo 3. I would love to see Diablo 3 on the Switch. I know there was some talk about it. It's never been confirmed by Blizzard, but it kind of smells like that is definitely the case. But, you know, Nintendo does their Nintendo Direct, and then they have an all-day stream that they do from the Treehouse. So we will definitely be keeping up with that stuff. I'm a huge Nintendo fan, as you guys know, so that will be one of my biggest days for sure, seeing what Nintendo has up their sleeves. I definitely expect to see more Bayonetta 3 as well at this year's E3. And, you know, like I said, Metroid Prime 4. I hope Diablo 3 is there. Diablo 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. It just really scratches that itch for me, and I would love to have it on my Switch and just take it with me everywhere I go. But like I said, there's a new Smash Bros. Coming, so we will definitely see a lot of that, and people will be excited. But that's all I really have to say about E3 this year. I will be streaming E3. I'll find the cleanest stream that I can find, and we'll be watching it and hanging out and cheering and crying together about the things that are announced and maybe not announced. But the last thing that I have to say about E3 2018 is we've heard all of the supposed leaks about the Resident Evil 2 remake finally getting some light shed upon it this year at E3. That is my biggest hope and dream at E3 this year. I really hope to see something about the Resident Evil 2 remake. But if we don't get it this year, I'm afraid I kind of feel like it's just been forgotten and it will not happen. Like I said in my stream for Resident Evil 2 on Saturday, I either want a trailer or I even want that dude to get up on stage and have that big screen behind him, and just that screen that says Resident Evil 2 Remake, and this dude could be wearing a t-shirt that says "We Still Do It." You guys know the famous reveal of the Resident Evil 2 Remake. There was just a screen that said Resident Evil 2 Remake and a guy that was wearing a shirt that said "We Do It." So even if it's something as simple as that and you're just letting me know that it's still happening, I'm excited and pumped up about that. Like I said on Saturday, Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm really pumped for a remake for it. Hopefully it will come, but we'll just have to wait and see at E3 2018. I'm excited about all the surprises and you know, the stuff that we know about that we'll get to see more about. But I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Like I said, what's going down this week on Beat 'em Up Joe's is I have a video about the original Xbox and a small repair, super simple small repair to a common problem with the original Xbox. Keep your Xbox running. Don't go buy another one. Hopefully I can help you fix your Xbox if you have this super common, easy to fix problem. That video will go up on Wednesday as early as I can get it live, and then on Friday I will be doing a pickups video just about some of the games that I've picked up recently, and just kind of show you what I am adding to my collection most recently. And of course on Saturday, from Saturday to Tuesday, we will be streaming about E3 2018 and talking about all the really cool stuff that happens at Video Game Christmas. Thank you guys for joining me. We will see you on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And before I forget, like I said, there is only one press conference, that being the EA conference on Saturday. So we will go over that conference and we will talk a little recap on that conference. And then we will be streaming another game this week. And the game that I have selected to stream this week is Bloodborne. We had a lot of fun with the horror stylings of Resident Evil 2 on Saturday. So, and I think we actually had a lot of fun with the couple of deaths that I didn't mean to have, but there was a sense of camaraderie around those deaths. You know, you guys were down in the chat when I died and you were like, "Oh man, what a bummer. Try again, dude." So this game is all about dying and getting up and trying again, and it's got a horror feel to it as well. So we're going to kind of keep that theme going, a little bit more modern game, and we're going to have a lot of fun with Bloodborne on Saturday. One of my favorite games this generation. So definitely keep a lookout for that. One last recap. This week we are going to have the Xbox repair on Wednesday. There will be a video going up, and then on Friday I will have a video about recent pickups, games that I've added to my collection recently, and then on Saturday we will do the EA press conference for E3 2018, and I will have a stream of Bloodborne going on pretty much the rest of the day into the wee hours of the morning. And then of course we will continue on with E3 through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We're going to have a fantastic week, guys. Thanks for joining me for this week on Beat 'em Up Joe's. I will catch you later on this evening where I will be doing this again, and we'll chat a little bit more about things going on. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll catch you in a little while.